Chosen one, center your entire focus on this message right now. That restlessness you've carried, the one that drags you out of bed before sunrise and sits on your chest like a boulder, ends today. All week, the enemy has been working overtime for one reason and one reason only. He knows what today is about to mark in your life. Everything shifts right now. You've felt the stagnation, the deafening silence, the spiritual weight that made you question every core belief you held. But here's the truth. Your life isn't shifting by accident. It's shifting because of you. Because every time your soul screamed to run, you chose to stay. Think back to earlier this week, when you stared at your life and felt nothing. No spark, no vision, no flame. And instead of forcing your faith, instead of faking the spark, you went quiet. You sat with the emptiness. You didn't perform faith, you held it in silence. You didn't know it then, but that still, honest moment was not weakness. That was your turning point. Your energy is now at its highest level. But the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. That act, choosing stillness over flight, was the signal to heaven that you were finally ready for what comes next. You did not stumble onto this message. The algorithm did not guide you here. God did. This is a divine appointment woven into the blueprint of this very day, scripted before the foundations of the earth were set. Right now, you stand at the first line of a brand new chapter, and the ink is still wet. Stay with me until the final second of this message, because in just moments, I will deliver the verdict that erases every label the enemy has ever pinned on your name. I will walk you back to the precise instant when, without even realizing it, you crossed the threshold into someone new. And by the end, I will speak a declaration so powerful your old self will have no choice but to stay behind. Do not click away. Your future self is witnessing this moment with more gravity than you can fathom. If you leave before the end, you walk out before the verdict is read. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. I know exactly what these last 72 hours have felt like. It hasn't just been quiet. It's been thick, like the pressure in a room just before it cracks. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Perhaps you've been going through your days doing everything right. Showing up, ticking the boxes, reciting the words. Yet inside, you felt detached, as though you were watching your own life through a fogged window. Or maybe something happened this week that cracked you wide open. A conversation that shattered expectations, a door you thought would open that slammed shut. And there you were, alone at 3 a.m. Staring at the ceiling, wondering if you'd missed your moment. If somewhere along the line, you'd taken a wrong turn so far back you couldn't even trace it. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And remember, the digital book, the Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. You can almost feel it, standing on a threshold between two worlds. The familiar life you've walked for years, and the one you've been praying toward in the secret chambers of your heart. That space in between has started to feel permanent, like quicksand dragging you deeper into doubt. In this suspended moment, the enemy's voice grows louder, whispering a very specific lie, that the ache of emptiness you feel is proof you're not chosen. That this limbo, this stall in your story, shows you're ordinary. He replays every time you played small. The moment you stayed silent when your voice could have set someone free. That instance you stepped back when destiny demanded you step forward. The season you chose rest when the world begged you to fight on. Each memory is paraded before you as evidence against the future that God has written for you. But listen now to what Scripture actually declares about this hour. In Lamentations 3 verse 23 we read, "His mercies are new every morning. Great is His faithfulness." Feel the weight of that promise. Not new every year, not new when you've earned them, but fresh, boundless, unconditional every single morning. This very sunrise, this day he wrote on the calendar before creation ever began, he promised to meet you here. No record kept of yesterday's victories or failures. No ledger tracking your worthiness. His mercy arrives each dawn just for you. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. The enemy would have you believe a new beginning demands a spotless past, a track record of triumph greater than yours. But the promise says otherwise. You are not disqualified. You are not delayed. You are not starting over. You are starting. The heaviness weighing you down. It isn't the burden of failure. It's the force of transition. Imagine a seed pushing through the earth, pressure mounting until it breaks the surface. It's not punishment. It's preparation for emergence. Your stillness, those quiet moments when you felt drained of faith, were not signs of collapse. They were the sacred hours when God rebuilt your foundation, reforging every broken piece of your heart. You weren't falling apart. You were being remade into something stronger, purer, more aligned with His purpose. Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. This day does not mark another lap around the same cycle. Today is the genesis of a brand new you, not a patched-up survivor, not a recovered version of your old self, but a completely transformed soul forged in the very fire you thought was consuming you. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Most chosen ones who hear this message feel the blaze of hope for 48 hours. Then the desert of doubt returns, the silence grows heavy, and within a week they're back where they started, exhausted, waiting, wondering if they'll ever break through. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And remember, the digital book, the Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Right now, everything shifts. The old you falls away. The new you rises on the wings of His mercy and Emmanuel's promise. This is your moment. Rise, chosen one. Today is the day that cycle shatters, or it remains locked for good. Imagine rising each morning into your own inner sanctum, where a fresh prophetic word flows directly from the throne room of heaven every single day of the year, so you hear God's voice before a single breeze of the world stirs your ears. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This window God has thrown wide open will not stay ajar forever. Before we plunge deeper, you must equip yourself with the only roadmap powerful enough to guide you through the threshold you stand on. The Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide. It's not some generic pamphlet. It was forged specifically for chosen souls on the brink of breakthrough, a sacred blueprint that holds you by the hand through every principle and promise we unpack here. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Now, let's get real about what's unfolding inside you right now. Most of you carrying the weight of destiny don't struggle because you lack the calling. You stumble because you've been harboring it alone, locked in silence, surrounded by people who can't see the fire God lit in your spirit. That hush, the persistent ache that whispers you were born for more, has begun to fool you into doubting your own heart. Suddenly, the vision you once swore was clear feels like a mirage. You wonder, did I miss here? Is the door that remains closed a sign that it will never open? Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. Let's go deeper into the secret weight you carry. It rarely looks like someone weeping in the street. More often, It's the one who smiles at exactly the right moment, who shows up, who contributes, who gives and serves while cradling a vision so immense it aches like an open wound. It's the friend who laughs with the crowd but goes home alone, staring at the ceiling, asking God the same question they've been asking for months, even years. When? It's the believer who has read the promise so many times the page edges are frayed, who has declared it in faith, wept it in desperation, and still wakes up to a morning identical to the last. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. That unspoken ache, that nameless loneliness, is one of the most spiritually significant places you can occupy because it's here, in the tension between promise and fulfillment, that God is doing his most irreversible work. But here's the secret of that silence. It's not judgment or delay. It's preparation. And preparation never shows you a progress bar. It doesn't come with a timetable or a finish line. It simply stretches you, refines you, and waits for you to rise. It begins in shadows, so quietly you almost miss it, like roots weaving beneath the earth long before a sprout ever breaches the surface. Picture the months of silent toil turning a single acorn into a mighty oak. No trumpet sounds, no spotlight reveals the miracle. Just relentless roots plunging deeper, gathering every drop of moisture and grain of mineral needed to fuel a strong trunk and a sprawling canopy. If you could slice open that ground, you wouldn't catch a glimpse of failure. You'd witness a precise blueprint of resilience laid so intentionally that when the sapling finally sees the sun, it stands unshaken against winds that would topple anything built in haste. The real battle is fought out of sight, in the dark spaces where preparation outperforms panic. Job didn't know how his journey would end while he was still wandering through its darkest chapter. He sat alone in smoldering ashes, skin scraped raw, every comfort stripped away, his silence misunderstood as abandonment. Yet that trial became the most intense workshop of refinement his soul would ever face. Pause and consider what he lost. The wealth he had gathered, the laughter of children echoing in his halls, the vibrant health that once pulsed through his veins, even the fellowship of friends who morphed into accusers. In a single season, every outward sign of divine favor vanished. Still, Scripture opens with a thunderous declaration. There was no one on earth like him, blameless, upright, fearing God, and turning away from evil. Words of pride straight from the Almighty. That man, singled out for honor, still walked through the fire. Not despite his integrity, not because he held a pass to immunity, but under the inscrutable permission of the divine, a mystery that baffled the enemy. While Satan celebrated Job's ruin, heaven was drafting a redemption so vast, so overflowing, so publicly undeniable that every witness to the wreckage would stand awestruck at the doubling of blessings. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. The enemy never writes the last chapter in a chosen life. He only ever occupies a single paragraph, and he doesn't even wield the pen. That is precisely where you stand today. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. You are not being forgotten. You are being formed. That distinction is the line between despair and endurance. Despair whispers that silence means absence. Endurance roars that silence is the forge where your destiny is crafted in quiet far deeper than any clamor of the crowd. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. You are not sitting in a deserted waiting room where promises go unclaimed. You are in your maker's workshop, surrounded by tools you haven't yet learned to wield, being sculpted by hands that have never faltered. Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. And remember, the digital book, the Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and and I will download the digital book. But here's the ultimate truth. Formation only works when you stop fighting the process. Many of you who've been called, the ones burning with divine fire and brimming with gifts, find yourselves wrestling more fiercely with the process than anyone else. You can feel the urgency pulsing in your veins. You know time is slipping past, and you hear destiny's quiet summons. That restlessness inside you isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It's the sacred dissatisfaction that separates those who are truly chosen from those who remain merely comfortable. It's the internal combustion engine of your purpose, and it was made to drive you forward. But when that engine revs and there's nowhere for it to go, when the door you've been knocking on refuses to budge, and the vision you clutch feels stalled, the very fuel meant to propel you can turn corrosive. Waiting stops feeling like wisdom and starts feeling like waste. It begins to press in on you as loss, as failure. In the gap between promise and fulfillment, a voice slips through the crack and whispers, "You've been passed over. Someone else has taken your place. You waited too long. You blew your chance." That voice is not discernment. It is not God. Today, I want you to recognize this voice for what it truly is, the single greatest saboteur in the life of a chosen one. It doesn't roar. It doesn't stalk you with horns and malicious laughter. It comes clothed in reason, draped in humility. It seduces you with logic, with self-awareness, with pseudo-honesty. It says things like, "Be realistic. Who are you to think you deserve this?" And "Look how much time has already slipped by." It's brilliant at borrowing your own intelligence against you. It knows your history, it mirrors your vocabulary, and it speaks in your familiar tone, so it feels just like your own thoughts. This is the craftiness that Scripture warns about, not a frontal assault, but an inside job. It slips in during those quiet moments between your prayers, in the breath you let out after you've tried one more time and still seen no results. And because it sounds so much like you, you never question it. You file it under, "Finally being honest with myself." But you were never meant to agree with that voice, even in its most reasonable argument. Most people think spiritual warfare is loud and obvious. They expect a cosmic confrontation, lightning strikes and all. But for the chosen, the battle is subtle. It's a relentless, particle-by-particle erosion of belief until the cliff of your faith looks entirely different than it did a year ago. A little more doubt today than yesterday. A little less hope tomorrow than today. Your energy is now at its highest level. But the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Don't let that whispering doubt steal another moment of your destiny. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Even when the erosion feels invisible, remember, every grain of faith you guard pushes back the tide. Every stand you take, every prayer you echo, rebuilds the cliff of your purpose. You weren't created to be buried under the waves of doubt. You were made to stand on heights of unwavering conviction. And remember, the digital book, The Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. One morning, you wake up and the vision you once held so clearly has slipped through your fingers. You can barely remember what it felt like to stand in that light, so vivid and alive. You tell yourself maybe you've finally grown up. Maybe you've become realistic. But the truth is, you agreed to something you were never supposed to agree with. The vision didn't fade because it was wrong. It dimmed because a force was systematically working to snuff it out, using the lens of your own disappointment as its weapon. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you how to break that agreement completely, because the breakthrough that sets you free isn't what most people expect, and it will change everything. But first, you need to see something profound about the nature of your own delay. There's a pattern woven through nearly every chosen life recorded in Scripture, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Moses spent 40 years wandering the wilderness. David was anointed as a boy, but didn't sit on his throne until he became a man. Abraham was promised a son in his youth and held that son in his arms only when he was an old man. Joseph dreamed of greatness as a boy, only to be thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, forgotten behind prison bars, until, in a single instant, he was elevated to second in command of the most powerful nation on earth. In every one of these stories, the delay was not a denial. The delay was a dilation. God was expanding the capacity of the vessel before pouring in the fullness of the assignment. Think about that word, dilation. In the natural world, dilation is what happens when something opens wide enough to allow new life to pass through. It's not comfortable. It's not fast. You can't force it or rush it without causing damage. It's the body doing what only the body can do, in the exact timing it requires, to bring something new into being. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. What God is doing in the season of your delay is exactly that. He is dilating you, opening what was too narrow, too closed, too formed around old patterns and small thinking, making room for the greatness that's coming. He is not making you wait out of cruelty. He is making you wait out of necessity. The container must match the content. Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. Consider Moses again. As a 40-year-old prince, he was passionate, he was called, yet impulsive and still divided between palace privilege and Hebrew promise. He needed the wilderness. He needed the silence. He needed the stripping away of titles, the palace, the name that gave him access to power, so that when he stood before Pharaoh a second time, he would stand not as a former prince reclaiming what was his, but as a servant of the Most High God, unimpressed by thrones because he had met the one who made them. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And remember, the digital book, the Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And here's what this means for you. Your breakthrough hasn't shown up yet, not because the promise was false or because the dream was a lie, but because the person you were a year ago, 5 years ago, or last season simply wasn't equipped to carry what's about to land in your hands. This isn't a criticism, and it's not God peering down with disappointment in his eyes. It's the loving care of a father who knows that every version of you has been essential in shaping the soul you've become, but also knows that the assignment waiting for you demands a depth, a rock-solid stability in him that hasn't been established yet. He doesn't hold back blessings to punish you. He delays their arrival to protect the very gifts he intends to entrust you with, because when grand treasures are handed to people who aren't ready, those treasures don't elevate them, they shatter them. We've seen it unfold before our eyes. We watched hopeful hearts receive massive platforms, unprecedented influence, and abundant resources, only to discover that their inner foundations were too weak to sustain the weight. And we witnessed those gifts slowly strip away everything they once held dear. God loves you too much to let your story end there. Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. This brings us to the real turning point, the moment most people breeze right past because it feels too raw to face head-on. The chosen life isn't just about patient persistence. It demands fearless, honest self-examination. Not the kind of self-flagellation that crushes your spirit or a false humility that convinces you you're unworthy, but the kind that asks, where am I still choosing comfort over courage? Where am I skillfully managing my pain instead of inviting true healing? Where do I perform strength on the public stage while I fracture in secret solitude? Where am I waiting on God to move something He's already empowered me to shift? Because there's a category of delay that isn't divine, it's avoidance masquerading as faith. And the chosen one must learn to discern the difference. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. You have to sit with that uncomfortable question. Is the door outside still closed because God hasn't opened it? Or because you've been lingering 6 feet back, hesitant to step close enough to knock? Both realities exist. Both are part of the human journey with the divine. Only this brand of self-examination, the kind that invites the Holy Spirit into the room and whispers, "Show me what I cannot see alone," can reveal which one you're facing. Here's the part no one wants to admit. Some doors you've been praying to swing wide, God has already unlocked. He's simply waiting for you to knock. Not with a gentle tap, not with the side of your palm. He's waiting for you to thunder on that portal with the full weight of who you are and what you carry, the intentionality of someone who knows they're invited, confident their name is etched on the other side, certain the one who planted the vision is also the one who paved the way, and that every knock demands bold risk. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And remember, the digital book, the chosen one's handbook, 21-day activation guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. It demands that you step into the shoes of the person you're destined to become before you ever feel fully qualified. It means putting pen to paper on a dream you haven't earned yet, starting the conversation before you've gathered every answer, and taking that very first step when the staircase still disappears into the clouds. This is the essence of courage, showing up as who you're becoming, even when every cell in your body doubts you belong there. True faith isn't a burst of confidence in your own powers. It's a fierce trust in the one who called you. Trusting him enough to move before you feel prepared, before the perfect conditions align, before the fear has even loosened its grip. The secret is simple but profound. The fear doesn't evaporate first. You act, and in the act itself, fear loses its authority over you. This is the eternal pattern of every chosen life throughout history. Noah built an ark in the middle of a desert, long before a single raindrop ever fell. Abraham packed his bags and walked away without a map, heading toward a country he'd never seen. The disciples leaped from the boat onto stormy waters that still churned beneath their feet. They didn't wait until they felt brave. They decided that obedience, doing what God asked, mattered more than their own comfort. That choice, right there, was the crossroads of destiny. Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. Yet even among the chosen, there's a secret chain quietly holding most of us back. It isn't disloyalty to God or to the vision He's placed in your heart. It's a hidden allegiance to the version of yourself that was forged in suffering. An attachment so deep, you hardly know it's there. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. That wounded self learned to survive rejection, to weather betrayal, to carry loss. It built walls that once kept you safe, systems that made perfect sense given the wounds that birthed them. There's a tenderness in your heart for that scarred identity, because it proved time and again, I can take the hit and keep going. I can be unseen and still have worth. I can be reduced and still know my value. But now you're being called into a new life, one that's open, exposed, vulnerable. Part of you instinctively pulls back, not because you don't long for breakthrough, but because breakthrough asks you to shed the only armor you've ever known. This moment demands a surrender of that old wound, honored, not diminished, handed over to the God who heals what He allows and redeems even what the enemy intended for destruction. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And remember, the digital book, the chosen one's handbook, 21-day activation guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This is where Jacob's story cuts deep. Jacob fought through the night with the angel, every fiber of his being pulsing with pain and determination. He limped, he was exhausted, but he refused to let go. And when the first light of morning broke over the horizon, he rose with a new name and a permanent limp. We've all heard that story and fixated on the blessing that followed. But what most people miss is the surrender that came before it. Jacob had to release his strangling grip on his old identity, the deceiver, the supplanter, the man who schemed and manipulated to claim what was already his, before he could receive the name Israel, the one who prevails with God. The old name had to die so the new name could live. And notice, God didn't heal the limp. That scar remained as a testament. Jacob had stepped into the presence of God and survived. He entered the night as one man and emerged as another. True transformation doesn't erase the wound. It redeems it, turning injury into a witness. There is a name you've been carrying that was never truly yours, a label stamped on you by pain, by other people, by failure, by seasons of silence, so long you began to believe silence was the answer. Too much, too sensitive, too late, too broken, too ordinary. Not enough, not smart enough, not connected enough, not healed enough, not ready enough. Each of those labels is a chain. And these aren't delicate, decorative chains. They're load-bearing shackles, silently shaping the structure of your decisions, the ceiling of your expectations, the radius of your reach. Every chain has a name. And the instant you call it out, not to own it, but to renounce it, you start to dissolve its grip. There is spiritual authority in naming what has had authority over you. Something shifts in the unseen realms when a chosen one stops passively tolerating a lie and begins actively confronting it. When you refuse to call it just who I am, and instead declare it a fear of hope born from disappointment. When you step forward and label it an agreement I made in a moment of pain, not reality, you strip it of the camouflage it has worn for so long. A lie without camouflage has no power. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. But there's a layer beneath even that. This is the confrontation I want you to sit with, because it's the crack that lets the light in. The real barrier for most chosen ones is not fear. It's not the enemy. It's not even the scars of the past. It's an unspoken covenant with limitation, a pact you made so long ago, in such a vulnerable instant, that it feels like a core belief. It feels like truth. It feels like simply the way things are for you. It doesn't feel imposed. It feels like the very foundation of who you are. Your energy is now at its highest level. But the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. From this vantage point, you can see the hidden agreements fall away. You recognize the vows you never consciously made, and you dissolve them in the light of who you truly are. The road ahead stretches open, laden with possibility and power that you once believed was beyond your reach. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And remember, the digital book, the chosen one's handbook, 21-day activation guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. It begins like a silent covenant buried so deep within you that it no longer feels like an agreement. It feels like identity itself. It's woven into the narrative you tell yourself, stitched so tightly into every breath that to question it is to question the very fabric of your reality. That pact was sealed in your earliest seasons, when you were young, when you were broken, or in that moment when the very person whose approval you craved most looked right through you. When the parent who should have heralded your brilliance zeroed in on your flaws. When the tribe meant to champion your gifts instead measured you against someone else and declared you lacking. When you stepped forward in faith, bare and vulnerable, reaching for your promise, and it crumbled before your eyes. The sting of that moment cut so sharp that a part of you resolved to protect itself from ever feeling that raw again. You vowed you would not stretch your hands toward danger. You promised you would not yearn for what seemed forever out of reach. You would manage your hopes to shield yourself from shattering disappointment. You would shrink yourself safely, far from the possibility of catastrophic failure. You would lower your aims so mercilessly that the gap between who you are and who you're destined to be wouldn't haunt you awake each morning. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. You labeled it wisdom. You told yourself it was maturity. You convinced yourself it was simply lessons learned. But what you've built is a towering wall, a barrier that keeps real pain at bay, but also blocks the fullness of all God declared you to be. It holds back the ache, yes, but also holds back the promise, the destiny, the miracle longing to flood your life. Yet here's the astonishing truth. That wall served its purpose. In the season of your wound, it was your protector. There is no shame in raising defenses when all you knew was how to survive. God sees every brick of that fortress, and He does not condemn you for building it. He stands on the far side, with the tender compassion of a father who watched you hurt and honored every effort you made to keep yourself whole. He is calling your name across those walls, telling you the season of survival has ended. The very barrier that once sheltered you is now containing you. The structure meant to guard your heart now besieges your inheritance. With all the warmth and authority of the one who sculpted your soul, He invites you to tear it down. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. Listen closely. This ancient pact of limitation can be broken at this very moment. Not through striving harder, not through pumping yourself into a frenzy, not by screaming declarations into the void. It breaks by surrender, by leaning into the profound grace that meets you where you are and lifts you into who you're meant to become. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And remember, the digital book, the Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Now rise. Let every wall fall. Step into the fullness of your calling. Genuine, open-handed surrender is the moment you lay down every shield, cease wrestling with life's uncertainties, and welcome God's overflowing goodness exactly where you stand, in every unfinished, unresolved seam of your story. Surrender is not defeat. It's the moment you unclench your fists, stop trying to steer your own destiny, and hand the pen back to the author who penned this narrative long before you knew it was yours to write. Today marks the birth of a new you. Not because your external world magically reconfigures. The door before you may look unchanged, the path still clouded in mist, but because something seismic just shifted inside. You heard a voice touch the place you've been hiding, not to shame you, but to summon you into more, into what was always yours, into the fullness of the person heaven envisioned before you drew breath. It called you into the self written before your name was whispered, before the first wound told you to shrink. That version of you has been preserved in the unseen realm, untarnished and waiting. And today, something ancient and unwavering inside you is beginning to remember. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Now, place your hand on your heart and speak these declarations in faith, for words unleashed in belief carry a power silence cannot. I release every agreement with limitation, lack, unworthiness, and fear. I break free from every label cast by those who couldn't see God's masterpiece. I leave behind the version built for mere survival and step fully into the one built for purpose. I declare, I am not behind, forgotten, late, or broken. I am chosen. I am being formed. I walk into the fullness God designed before my first breath. My breakthrough isn't coming. It's already in motion, and I embrace it now. Let these words settle deep into every closed chamber of your heart. What you just declared wasn't a performance. It was a position. You've aligned yourself with heaven's own decree over your life. Alignment always births acceleration. When your inner identity matches God's vision, the outside world begins to rearrange itself. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. When you sever the pact with limitation, the path clears. When you release the old name, the new name can settle on your life. When the final wall comes crashing down, everything waiting on the other side floods in to claim its place with you. This is spiritual law, as certain as sunrise after the darkest night. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This message is not for the faint of heart. And yet, you were never faint of heart. You've simply been carrying a weight in the dark longer than anyone should carry it alone. Today, that burden meets its end because your destiny is calling, and you'll never walk this road without divine support again. Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. And remember, the digital book, The Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Today you're reminded, you are never alone. The force that sparked your vision has been walking beside you through every silent season, every closed door, every doubt-laden night. He was there then, and he is here now. Know this. He's not finished shaping the masterpiece within you. Your energy is now at its highest level, but the real work is only beginning. To maintain this frequency and permanently break through every obstacle, you will need the 21-day guide. It is not available to everyone. If you feel the calling, click my private link below and message me directly. I am waiting for you on the other side of the gate. If this message found you at this exact moment, it was no accident. It's destiny calling your name. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Share this spark with someone standing on the edge of their own breakthrough, someone unaware of how close they are. The link is in the first pinned comment, and I am warning you once again. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you must do today. Download it now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. And remember, the digital book, The Chosen One's Handbook, 21-Day Activation Guide, is waiting for you up there at the top of the comments, ready to guide you into the new life that is beginning right now. Right? I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. You are never alone in this journey. You never were. Keep going.